Parkcast, the UK's original theme park podcast.
Here we go. It's episode 6 of Parkcast. How are you doing? I'm Bex, and of course, Alex is here as well.
Hello there.
I'm a little bit flustered today because we've changed our surroundings again.
We have. We're on tour. We're on tour right now.
We seem to be recording this podcast in a different studio every time we do it. But actually saying that, we are going to take this on tour, aren't we?
We are going to take it on tour. Apparently we are. That's the plan.
No, we actually will. We'll go and do it at a park one day and then everyone can come and join in and that'll be great fun. Lots to talk about today. But first, this week's highs and lows.
Highs and lows.
Highs and lows.
Yeah, never do that again.
Sorry. Sorry, sounds. It's great.
So let's just run through a few things that have happened in the theme park world since we last spoke. So there's Chessington have released an update. There's a new ride going to be taking the place of Ramesses' Revenge. Sad times. It's very sad. Have you been sarcastic there or not?
No, I'm actually really sad. Ramesses' Revenge, I think, is a fantastic ride. Revenge. When it's open, it's amazing.
Well, we used to have Ramesses' Revenge and Ripsaw.
We did.
And now we've got neither.
We're not going to have any.
How did that happen?
It's sad. It's a really sad time. I know Ramesses has had a lot of technical issues over the last, maybe 3 or 4 years even. It's been quite a while. We've probably seen this coming for quite some time. However, Chessington straight in there. It's not going to be like a bye-bye Ramesses. It's like, forget about Ramesses. Here's what's going on the site next. Let's stick this in. And, it's not a bad choice, I don't think.
Well, you say that. I mean, we seem to be talking about these rides a lot on this podcast. It's another drop tower. I'm sorry, but this country does not need any more drop towers. Will somebody please build a really big roller coaster?
I think we'll build a drop tower on the side of your house.
No.
I think you'd love that.
If you haven't listened to any previous episodes, I hate drop towers with an absolute passion. I can't stand them. So I'm over the moon.
You've got a lot of things you don't like, Becca, I think we've discovered. I
don't like scare attractions
mazes.
And I don't like drop towers.
Nope.
That's about it. Give me a big roller coaster. Happy days. So this is going to take the slot of Ramesses' Revenge. It's going to have an alligator head on it, apparently, which you might drop into the jaws of an alligator.
Sounds pretty cool.
Nice to see a bit of theming. Be interesting to see how it goes. I will probably not be riding it.
Well, I mean, I know you mentioned that obviously you're scared of scare attractions and drop towers, and you said give me one big grand roller coaster any day. Becca, I can do just that because Six Flags recently announced that in Saudi Arabia, of all the countries of the world, to build a Six Flags park, a theme park with very diverse rides, let's say.
Six Flags Qiddiya.
Qiddiya, yes. I don't know where to begin.
Well, it was met with a lot of sort of dismay, wasn't it? A lot of people going, yeah, but it's never going to happen, is it? Because of the whole Six Flags Dubai thing, which never got off the ground. Nope. So there's a lot, I think, of scepticism about whether this park will be built. However, we can only go with what we're being told so far, can't we?
The fact we're getting a new park is always exciting, I think. No matter where it is in the world, it's great. The theme park's universe is expanding. However, Six Flags, first of all, for me. I mean, let's not throw that one negativity in too soon. But, I mean...
Have you still got your season pass?
I've still got my season pass. It's in the bin, but I've still got it. What's more interesting to me, though, is that people aren't talking about the park. They're talking about a particular ride in the park that is being proposed that certainly towers above anything else we've ever seen in the world before.
Well, the park statement has said they're going to build the tallest, fastest and longest roller coaster. And at first when I read that, I thought, they're building the tallest and they're building the fastest and the longest.
Yeah, three manufacturers, 3 coasters.
No,
nope.
They're saying this is one roller coaster which is going to beat all those records, which I actually can't get my head around what this is going to look like. Do you think this is going to be a launch like King Dakar, Top Thrill Dragster, and then extended? Is it going to have a traditional lift? Can we go 400 foot with a traditional lift hill?
Well, I mean, looking at the plans and the detailing, it looks like it's going to have a very traditional style lift hill. Which is going to take quite a few minutes to get you to the top of that lift.
And that's the worst part, isn't
it? And that anticipation is going to be building. You're going to get really quite nervous, I would have thought. And it's not just about the height. The drop, you've got to imagine that you're going to be coming down from that. I mean, it's not a record-breaking drop. We don't know that yet, but you never know. And then, of course, the fastest coaster in the world. They were planning, I think, was it around 167 miles an hour?
Yeah, that's what they're kind of mooting.
Unbelievable.
So to get that fast, either you've got to have a heck of a drop, or you're going to have a bit of help along the way. Definitely.
A little bit of boost, maybe. But it's just hard to believe that they're building this. And the longest coaster in the world, too. I mean, it's going to have to cover several minutes, maybe, to fill the longest roller coaster in the world. 2 lift hills. I mean, the current record is held by Steel Dragon 2000 in Japan for the longest coaster. The tallest coaster being King Dakar, and the fastest coaster in the world being Formula Rossa at Ferrari World. 3 very, very amazing roller coasters that deserve to be at the top of their tier. And then here comes Six Flags.
Merge them all together.
Let's
like
shove
getting
them all into one.
3 bits of Play-Doh and going and squishing them all.
I hope
into
it's
one.
not made of Play-Doh.
I know, that would be a disaster. Not too long to wait, though, to see if this is actually going to happen. 2023, they're saying the park is going to open, which seems an amazingly quick amount of time to build a park.
I believe some work is already taking place in the area. So, no time wasted. Let's get on with it and have a Six Flags day, everybody.
We're all on a plane to Saudi Arabia. We're going on a Parkcast trip to Saudi. It's a very rich country, so I actually think that this could happen. I'm not one of the skeptic ones. I think
there's a huge possibility. I mean, I'm an American wrestling fan, and I know that a couple of years ago Saudi Arabia started investing. Rather, that was the word I was looking for, in live entertainment, and they actually paid the WWE $55 million to put on one evening show in a stadium. They haven't got money, they've got money to burn. They have got no interest on how that money is returned. It's more about, let's get people to this country. Let's get that tourism number up, and let's give the people that live there something to really live for. And I think, a Six Flags park in Saudi Arabia, talking about it now sounds unreal, but a few years from now, it might not be so unrealistic.
just a shame it's a Six Flags day.
Oh, I know.
Imagine that operational throughput.
Very sad.
What else has happened? There's been some concept art released for Frozen
at Disneyland Paris.
Disneyland Paris,
Walt Disney Studios, to be precise. A park which right now, looking at a lot of photos and videos of the park over the last few weeks particularly, is looking pretty empty right now. You've still got the Tower of Terror, of course. You've still got Ratatouille, the Toy Story Playland area.
That's about it, really.
That is about it. The
Rock
park
and roller coaster's closed now.
Gone, yeah. Armageddon, which is not too much of a loss, gone. A lot of that park is being torn apart, but what is coming to that park very, very soon is very exciting. Obviously, promises of Star Wars, of course, a branch off of Galaxy's Edge, which is, of course, at the 2 other parks in the US. Frozen Land, which sounds very, very exciting, and certainly seeing the concept art, go online and definitely check that out. It looks impressive. There's a big mountain too, which hopefully, touch wood, will have a roller coaster in there. That'd be really nice to finish it off, I think. All created around this central hub lake, which usually when Disney build a lake, they don't just want to fill it with water, they want to put a big show on there. So I'm hoping that, maybe something like Fantasmic or, a show of that nature and that caliber could come to Walt Disney Studios, knowing that very, very recently, and a little bit of a low point here actually, that Tokyo Disney Sea have recently announced that Fantasmic is coming to an end at Tokyo Disney Sea. I know it used to get very poor viewing numbers at the park. It was the equivalent of what you'd see Fantasmic at Walt Disney World or Disneyland, except everything was done on boats in the middle of a lake. There was no land structure to the show. So it's very sad to see that coming to an end, but I'm guessing those boats have got to go somewhere, right?
Ship them over to France.
Do you like my logic?
Yeah.
Let's see if I'm right.
Well, if you've got a big lake, you might as well put something on it.
Of course you had.
And actually, if you think about it in Frozen the film, when all the boats go out and then there's a big light show with all the little lanterns into the sky where they release all the lanterns.
Are you thinking of Tangled now, aren't you?
Oh, is that Tangled?
Yes, you're thinking of Tangled.
But okay, well maybe that.
Yeah, let's just throw Tangled in there as well. But the logic's still there. There's a nice lake. Disney do like to do their scenic props and things. Let's see what they manage to throw onto the lake. Maybe even Rapunzel's hair. You never know. There's always that chance.
Maybe I'll just give them that idea.
Maybe.
It can be a combined land.
Are you going to put your name on that project?
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. And again, but with, what was it, 2023 again before this is complete?
Yeah, and that's phase 1. There's more to come from Disneyland Paris, Disneyland Resort Paris. Over the coming years, of course, the Art of Marvel Hotel has just been, we've had the first concept tease of that too as well. That's looking to open at the end of 2020. Very exciting times ahead, I think, really, for the park. Euro Disney had a few struggles towards the end of its life, and now to see it with the Walt Disney Company's breath of investment and fresh air, let's see what the future of those parks are, and maybe even one day, third park. That'd be really nice.
2023 shaping up to be a big year as well.
It is.
Saudi, Frozen
Let's
Land.
get some flights booked.
There's a lot going on. What else has happened? Pantheon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which you've been to.
I have. Beautiful park.
Again, so they've released that's going to have 15 airtime hills.
Incredible coaster that's going to be. Really incredible.
You're not going to be in your seat.
No. That's what you want, though. I mean, the thing is, Becca and I talked about this, obviously, on the previous episode about Steel Vengeance and the airtime and how you are forced out of your seats. We really don't get those kind of rides here in Europe
Which
as
is
a
a
whole.
massive shame, actually.
Massive shame.
I wish someone would just go, well, Yeah, I was going to say, what about Energylandia? Because they've just released
course.
a massive ride, but from the reviews, not much airtime on it.
No, it's lacking in airtime. It's got speed more than anything else and some intense moments. But, you know, in terms of airtime, floater airtime, ejector, things that the Europe seems to really lack in its coast. I'm not saying all of them, but there's certainly not as much as you can get in some of the US. Bit of Shambhala, yeah, but I mean, let's take Shambhala and let's times it by 3, because that's exactly what you're going to get with Pantheon at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Very exciting project. Can't wait to see that when it's all complete. And who knows, in 12 months from now, Becca, you might even be out there riding it. You never know. That'd be the dream.
My other half, that's one of the few parks that he has been to. Before he met me, he didn't really know anything about coasters. No. And he was on a work trip over in America, and they just went for a day out at that park. And he just said he loved it. It was just an amazing park.
It's very nice.
So even as a non-enthusiast,
you wouldn't even know the park's there either. It's all in the woods. You're driving through and you can just see the coastal skyline peeking out through the trees. It's a little bit like Thorpe Park, but with less houses, more more just open nature.
There's probably a few other things there.
Maybe
resemble it quite so much as well.
Parkcast, the UK's original theme park podcast.
So a couple of weeks ago, Blackpool Pleasure Beach told us that they were going to be launching a new Halloween event for 2019. It's the Journey to Hell Freak Nights. Now, we weren't too sure what to expect, but we went up. We had a bit of a taste, a bit of an experience of what was going to go on, and we chatted to some people as well. So this is your definitive guide to Blackpool Pleasure Beach's Halloween event for 2019. Okay, so we are here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I've just been through Passage del Terror for the first time in my life, and I was petrified by that. But obviously we're here for the Journey to Hell press launch, which is the new Blackpool Pleasure Beach scare attraction, would you call it?
Yeah.
And I'm with Lindsay. So what's your job?
So I'm the entertainments director here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and my job is basically to get all the kind of elements of the event together and make sure we're kind of singing off the same hymn sheet and just kind of coordinating it, and basically just to make sure it kind of all runs together. We kind of come up with the idea of a Journey to Hell, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and then we kind of spoke with the boys and we kind of touched on Dante's like Inferno, the kind of realms of hell, which has inspired a lot of the areas you'll go in. There's an element of certain realms that you're going to experience in various places.
So, and I know you mentioned this, you've just given us a bit of a chat, and a lot of people would say that actually Blackpool Pleasure Beach is quite late to the whole Halloween scare attraction thing, but as you pointed out, actually you guys were the first with Passage, because there wasn't anything in the UK like that at the time.
Yeah.
So what kind of made you this year go, now's the time to actually do a full-on event?
We've been working on an event called Fright Academy for the last few years with Passage, which has involved us going into schools and auditioning for a load of kids to kind of come and do like loads of horror workshops with Passage, and then we take them out on park on the Vampire Beach night and they do a performance. So we've kind of been working on like with them on that, and we're always speaking about let's do a big event, and then obviously Amanda Thompson's been really keen to do a big event as well, but it's funds, isn't it? It's like so we've just been waiting for the right time, waiting for the funds to be available, and so basically everything's aligned this year, and we're doing it, so it's exciting.
It's kind of crazy how big Halloween's getting though as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's a massive growing market, and like obviously Amanda, she works IAPA, she's going to be she goes to like all these kind of conferences and the meetings and all of that kind of stuff, and the one I can't remember which one it was, but she went to one at the kind of beginning of the year and it was all about Halloween, and obviously we've been having the chats back at house kind of thing, and I think she came back from it really inspired and was like, do you know what, this is the year, let's make it happen. So we were all like, yeah, like let's go. So
finally,
so we're all just like running full steam ahead. So yeah, we're like, obviously it's our first year doing it, and we wanted it to be different. So we looked at what other people were doing, as you do, and nobody was doing that kind of overall story.
Because yours is quite different in that it's a full 2-hour experience rather than going a 15-minute scare maze.
And you'll be kept in your group and you will be guided through the whole of the park, so you won't get a time to I'll go into that maze and then I'll go and talk to those people. No, that whole time you will be guided and shown various things, yeah. Which again, that's different from like any other park we've kind of looked at. You've obviously got the narrative, and then you've got the kind of levels of hell. So we just wanted it to be a kind of coherent piece of theatre, really. And Stageworks, our background is theatre. And then you've got David Morris, who's like an actor, so his background is theatrical as well. And then you've got Passage, who are amazing at scare mazes. So we're like, right, let's work to our strengths. We're great at production, at lighting, at staging, at costuming, at theming. We're awesome at that. David's great actor. Passage, horror mazes. So yeah, we're all pulling on our strengths, and hopefully we'll make an amazing event.
And I think yours as well is the only one that I've heard of where a ride in the park's actually going to feature as part of it as well.
Yeah, and we're making that a little bit different from a normal route.
Can you give us any more information on that?
No, I'm going to keep that secret. So it'll just be, it's not crazy different. Just there'll be an element of it that will make you feel different. That's all I'm going to say.
It sounds really exciting. Well, tonight's been amazing, and I think everyone here is now. We all kind of came to it thinking we don't know what to expect. We don't, because the details about what you were going to do was so sketchy. Obviously, we've now all been told, we're like, this sounds great. It sounds really different. I think we're all looking to get here as soon as possible when it opens. And fingers crossed, go really well, and you'll carry on.
Yeah, we're hoping. For our first year, we would love like that kind of culty, like that kind of underground kind of vibe about it. Because obviously we're not expecting it to be a sellout. It would be wonderful if it was, but it's our first year. We understand that's probably not going to happen. We're kind of going for that culty, quirky vibe, and we hope that we pull in that kind of crowd, and then word spreads, and everybody loves that it's got that different element, that narrative, that whole journey. Get lost in the journey, get lost with your characters, with your
And sort of scare wise, how would you rate it? Do you think this is going to be on the scarier end?
Right, so I have to admit something, horror terrifies me.
Yeah, well, I'm in that boat as well.
I think like watching a horror movie for me is like a really traumatic experience. So I'm very easy to get scared. But like the boys, Passage and David, they are horror geniuses and they're excited about it. So I think it's going to be terrifying. And like I said today, when the boys went over to Jason's paint model shop and they saw all the things that had been made, they were like, they just couldn't wait to get their hands
kids
on
in a toy shop.
Yeah. And they were already like discussing new ideas for the scripts, and this character can do this, and we can do this. And, so it totally made their minds like go crazy as well. So I think it's going to be exciting.
And finally, obviously it's all happening after park close, so you get a separate sort of ticket, you come in after park closes. Will we see anything in the park in the daytime, little teasers to it, any actors sort of going around?
At the moment we've been discussing that today, how to kind of basically, to advertise it really, So we've been discussing that today, so we're kind of coming up with ideas. So yes, hopefully there will be teasers throughout. We love, because obviously where you were waiting to be brought in today, that was all decorated for tonight, so there's kind of a discussion of, we might leave that up for the rest of Halloween.
Looked amazing. Guest services, never seen
the
it
journey
like that
to hell and all the screens, and so we're talking about how do we get as soon as you come into the park.
And the last run through finishes at midnight, so pretty late, pretty scary.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much for talking to us.
No worries.
And I hope it goes really well.
Thank you.
Parkcast.
So today we've been up to Blackpool Pleasure Beach to get a bit of a preview of their new Halloween event, really. They've not done anything like this before, and we really weren't sure what to expect.
Yeah, Journey to Hell Freak Nights is the name of the event.
Which sounds pleasant enough.
It does, yeah. Journey to Hell, yeah, fantastic.
And that's not the M6 on the way out.
No, it's not. The Journey to Hell, the Journey to Hell tonight was down the steps to Passage del Terra for dear Becca here, who overcame her fear, shall we say, of scare mazes. I'm sure there's plenty more to come for Becca, don't you worry. And hopefully at some point we'll be able to get her in Passage and you'll be able to have a good listen to her real reactions, shall we say. We'll try and get some of the bleepers in when she tries to say a naughty word. But Journey to Hell Freak Nights, 27th of October to the 31st of October.
Conveniently just after my birthday.
It is.
It's like they knew.
it's a present for you that you're going to go to the event and be terrified. But Becca said something tonight I was quite surprised about. She said that I actually think I need to go because I'm quite excited to see what it'll be like, which is good, because even though she's got that fear in her mind, she's still going to give it a try, which is good.
Yeah, there's a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, they're promising a unique experience on Icon, so they had me at that part.
An experience on Icon's enough for most people.
The rest of the scare bit, I was like, nah. But yeah, getting to do something special on Icon sounds pretty good. Also, I know that Nick will absolutely love it. I mean, scare zones are his thing. He really enjoys that kind of stuff. And actually, so what we've learned today is that it's quite a unique experience. I don't think there's anyone else in the country doing anything quite the same. So this Blackpool are not doing a series of scare mazes where you book a ticket for a scare maze, you go in, you maybe then buy a ticket for another scare maze and go into that. For this, you buy the ticket for the full experience.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a pay once, explore the areas as a guided tour rather than as kind of free flow. Not all the rides are open in the park. It is just going to be that ride that you are given. However, it will just be one ride. It'll be a unique ride nonetheless. And yeah, very, very excited to see what's to come with the event. I think, it is only on the select night, so make sure you do plan it around your visit to the Pleasure Beach. But what is really cool is that you are going to finish the event in Passage del Terra before you enter the horror bar at the exit to Passage, and spend, if you want to, an entire evening, even early hours of the morning, in Passage del Terra's own horror bar with a live DJ. And let's go with the working title: an S&M themed nightclub experience until 3 a.m.
That is what they've told us today. I mean, I can tell you for nothing, I will not be standing at 3 a.m. because those days are long gone.
I think I'll give it a try. I think I've got to go and see that experience once.
You're going to get through a lot of pints of milk going through till 3 a.m.
100%.
But yeah, so you're going for this experience. It's going to be 2 hours and you're in for the full 2 hours. You can't pick and choose what bits you do. You sign up to it and then you will be led through a series of attractions, some scare maze bits. They've told us there's going to be a bit which links the Planet Rock building and takes you down the walkway down towards Icon. That's going to be part of it as well. So you're really going to go through the park when it's shut. Obviously it's all going to be very dark because it's all happening after park hours in October, so it'll be nice and dark as well.
And cold. It's going to be quite eerie going through some of those attractions.
I actually love the thought of going through a theme park that's closed at night with just a small group of people.
And what's amazing is the last of a group will actually finish the event at midnight. Imagine being that last group and getting that last ride on Icon, even if it's at the start of the event, even if it is at 10 o'clock, just to be getting that late ride on Icon, that's a first experience. That is I would say, feel free someone to correct me if I'm wrong, but that will actually be the latest you can actually get on Icon during an operating season at the park. So very, very exciting. And of course, finishing with Passage del Terra, dancing the night away. You've got that opportunity. A lot of scare events, it's kind of that thing of, okay, the bar closes with the event at 11 o'clock. See you later. Off you go. You don't really get given that option to linger around. So for the Pleasure Beach to be offering entertainment and a bar until 3 a.m, which is insane, but is also absolutely wonderful. And following it from the late night riding event that they have on the 26th of October, the Saturday, into the Freak Nights that begins on the Sunday, the 27th, you can make a really nice weekend out of Halloween and even see the illuminations outside.
Yeah, exactly. Illuminations happening the whole time. I mean, we've just left. Obviously, the park's lit up really nicely as well.
We're on the journey to hell right now. We're on the
They
M6.
are on the journey to hell. But yeah, so it all sounds really good. It sounds like actually they've done a lot of theatrical stuff with it as well. So as obviously we heard from earlier, the director of this whole event, she's got a very theatrical background, and they're trying to bring that kind of level of professionalism to this event.
Interactivity is the key word. I heard a lot tonight. The event's going to be very interactive, and it's going to be about storytelling. There's going to be a little kind of stage theatre improv and stuff, which is my roots too. I quite enjoy my theatre, so it's very nice to see that they are putting that presentational thought into the event, not just what sort of big horrible nasty set pieces can we build to terrorise people, which unfortunately is enough for Becca. However, it is going to be a full-on event. I did find out as well that the event is it's aimed at the over 18s market. However, you can actually attend the event age 15 and above if you have an adult over the age of 18 with you, and obviously when you hit 18 you're able to go to the event alone. So just bear that in mind if you are wanting to attend Journey to Hell Freak Nights. it's something to bear in mind. It is an external ticket price. It's not like late night riding, how you get the fireworks and stuff included in the admission ticket. It is actually a completely separate event of the park opening day. The park will close. You will be encouraged to leave the park if you're there that day, and if you're wishing to stay for the Journey to Hell Freak Nights from a park day, you will be able to upgrade your wristband on the day at the park. However, if not, and you're just wanting to attend Journey to Hell Freak Nights, you show up for your allocated time slot just prior to the event, which is exciting. I'm eager to see what the Pleasure Beach has in store. I know Becca and I have used the word excited a lot tonight. We are very interested to see, but I want to, just for a second, if I can, get somebody's opinion on the general thought and consensus behind Journey to Hell. We have a third person in the car with us this evening, and I just want to get a quick word from them if I can. Mr. Shawn Sambrook. Good evening, Shawn.
How are we doing? So, Halloween.
Very quiet in the back there.
Yeah, just having a little look through the content from tonight. So, yeah, I mean, it all sounds great. It's good to hear that, Pleasure Beach are finally doing something big for Halloween. Like, Vampire Beach has been something what they've done for a good few years now, and it's good to see that they're up in the game and doing a proper scare event, and it's going to be something a bit different as well, which is nice. I mean, like you touched on there, it's unlike anything else in the country, really, in terms of being a full experience, 2 hours, you're in it from the start all the way through to the end. And yeah, I think it sounds really good, very adult orientated. Which again I think is very different, because a lot of the scares in this country are kind of designed for like the 12 to 15 years market, whereas with this it does seem very adult orientated. So I think it'll be really nice. I think it's going to have a little bit of some of these foreign Halloween events that I've been to sort of brought over to the UK, and Pleasure Beach starting with this. I mean, I hope that it's something that grows in time as well, but we know a lot more tonight, but there's still a lot to learn about this event. Like they've gave us lots of details, but there's still a lot to learn, so I'm looking forward to hearing more and seeing what is going to happen at the event itself. But yeah, it's a positive, it really is.
And if you'd like, a visual representation of our evening, definitely go and check out Theme Park Worldwide, and you'll see the video footage of what we were allowed to capture this evening, which was very restrictive, really. Audio wise, we weren't able to get a great deal at the event for you, but we can definitely talk a little bit more about the event as and when it's happening. Even if Becca and I don't go together, we will definitely try and get something together for you all to have a little bit of an understanding of what this event has to offer. And we're very grateful to Pleasure Beach for inviting all of us down this evening. Actually, it was very, very kind of them to open it out, to give us a first sample of what to expect from this event. And we even got a little teaser video too of what the underground tunnels of the park are going to offer for this Halloween, an area that you don't actually get to see and a lot of guests don't even know exist, by the river caves there, tucked under the ghost train, which is going to be
They do
very,
look
very
really
exciting.
creepy as well,
They
don't
look
they?
really
Just the
creepy.
thought of being in a tunnel anyway. I mean, I don't go in the Channel Tunnel for that very reason. Just the thought of being really confined, stick some scare actors down there as well. Yeah, it's going to be creepy, especially when it's really dark at night. And I think actually we came into this with a little bit of trepidation today. We were a bit like, what's this going to be? They've never done this before. Are they going to kind of try and rush something together? But actually, I was really impressed with what we saw today. The quality of the actors that they had, the costumes, what they did today, even just dressing the guest services building, they put a lot of thought into that. So if that's an indicator of what this event is going to be, it is, like we said, it's looking really exciting. This is not something that's just been thrown together. This has had a lot of planning. Amanda Thompson herself, as you heard, has been a real driver in making this event happen. So
What's really exciting to me is when you mentioned about Amanda Thompson too. Amanda Thompson likes to do things different. A lot of people think the word different means bad. It doesn't. It means an opportunity to try something new. And one thing I've got to mention about Journey to Hell Freak Nights too, it is only running for a few nights. It isn't going to be 3 weeks over the course of October into early November, or even like, for instance, Magic Kingdom's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party that started back in the early 20s of August and runs till the middle of November. This Halloween season that we refer to it now rather than Halloween time, is expanding, and it's really nice to see that Pleasure Beach are keeping it very traditional. It's an exclusive. If you want to go to Journey to Hell Freak Nights, you've got to get online and buy those tickets, because otherwise you may not have the chance to attend the event. It is only on for a few days back to back. So guys, really do plan that out, and really, if you can, make time for some spooks. If you're used to travelling to Farmageddon, which is in the local area, Scare Kingdom, of course, it's going to be really nice to have something in Blackpool, something that is really terrorising. Of course, they have the dungeon there, which is wonderful, but it's nice to see that the Pleasure Beach are finally stepping into that Halloween bracket. It's very exciting.
And I think pricing wise, we're being told about £30.
Just under the £30 bracket, yeah, per person. But obviously that's your 2 hours in the park, and of course your access to the horror bar in the evening. Again, till 3 a.m. you can be purchasing drinks in there. It's a full-on experience. It's going to be quite intense. You know, you're going to go through a series of different indoor, interior and exterior attractions. You are going to be riding Icon as part of your experience, so bear that in mind. It is an adult-themed event. There is some very, very mature content, which we're all laughing because we all know the content and the nature that we can expect from this event. But I'm very excited. I don't know about you, Becca. I think it's going to be really good fun.
Definitely. We will report back.
Parkcast. Just gotta ride it.
Hi, I'm Stephen Burton and I am the PR exec here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. So I'm basically in charge of all these press events, filming, everything like that. So that's what I do here. And my favourite ride, really biased, but I'd have to say Icon, because it's just the whole experience and those launches and the whole build to it. It's such a big part of my life that I'm just so glad that it's just such an amazing ride.
Just a little bit biased there, but we'll let him get away with it. Right, that's it for this week's episode of Parkcast. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us 5 stars, please subscribe, and we'll have another episode for you really soon.
Parkcast. The UK's original theme park podcast.